Let's talk about The Grinch from 2018. That's right, I'm watching all the Grinch movies this year. And I'm actually really surprised about this movie. And I think this movie surprised a lot of people. I mean, like I said, myself included. And, this movie just popped up on my screen. I think it was in Netflix. And I thought, you know, why not give it a go? And yeah, going in, I expected nothing much really. Maybe something light and safe, a little bit fluffy. And for sure, it is definitely a safe movie. It's clearly aimed at younger kids, but it still manages to capture that whimsical Christmas vibe in a really warm and, I would say, enjoyable way. And honestly, I had a good time with it. I think this movie is pretty good. So I would rate it like a 7, 7.5. I definitely think this is a good movie. I definitely like it more than the one with Jim Carrey. That's saying a lot. And one of the strongest elements here is definitely the animation. I mean, this movie looks beautiful, absolutely. The colors, the lighting, the snowy environments, everything just pops visually. It's super colorful, super Christmassy on screen. It's one of those films where you can literally pause at any moment and, the frame looks like, Christmas wallpaper, basically. And it has a cozy, magical storybook quality, and it just feels good to look at. I mean, there's definitely a softness to the art direction that gives Whoville personality without being overwhelming. It just feels and looks festive. Exactly what I'm looking for when I'm watching a Christmas movie. And the whole film carries that cozy holiday spirit. I mean, it's whimsical, very lighthearted, and warm at the same time. You watch this and you kind of feel like you want hot chocolate, a blanket, and twinkling Christmas lights in the background. Definitely. It nails that this movie belongs in December energy perfectly. I think this is one of the movies that I will watch more and more in the future. I also really enjoyed Benedict Cumberbatch as the voice of the Grinch. He did an amazing job. And instead of being really terrifying or mean spirited, like in some other versions, he leans more into being awkward, lonely, and, a slightly more grumpier version of the character of the Grinch. The Grinch doesn't really feel like a villain. I mean, he's not cruel. He feels more like he's emotionally guarded. He feels more awkward and, grumpy. That's really what he feels like. And that shift really works well for children, I think, because you don't want him to feel, you don't want them to feel afraid of the Grinch. I get that, and you want them to understand the Grinch. That's a smart direction if you are making a movie, directed more at, younger children, a younger audience. And Cumberbatch handles that tone very organically. He does a really good job, and even as an adult, you will definitely enjoy it. So let's talk about the characters because this movie got a few characters, and they've done them right. And the first one I would say is Max, the dog. He's absolutely adorable. He's cute, he's supportive, he's, the expressive house pet. And honestly, he might be the best character in the whole movie. Every scene with Max just works. You're rooting for Max. And then we also get a pet reindeer. I also really enjoyed that addition as well. It's really funny. Um, and it definitely brings an extra layer of warmth and silliness that fits the tone of this story really well, I would say. And then we have Cindy Lou Who. She's handled nicely too. I mean, in the beginning, she feels a little bit annoying, but they gave her some good personality traits. They gave her goals, they gave her a relationship with her mom. It's not just the nice little girl from the book. She becomes a relatable child character with her own energy, and that actually helps the emotional beats of the story land more smoothly, I think. And story-wise, let's be honest, it is the Grinch. There's nothing new to to do in this movie. I mean, it doesn't reinvent the wheel, but it doesn't try to either. It just keeps things simple, digestible, and very friendly. And the emotional resolution that, Christmas is all about connection and kindness at that moment, it lands very well. It's not as dramatic or as striking as the 1966 version, but I definitely think it's sweet, and for me, it works. I actually really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it much more than, what most of us would consider one of the original ones, which is the one with Jim Carrey. No, I'm not hating on that movie, but I definitely think this one is much better. This version also leans, more younger, and I think that is definitely not intentional. As an adult, you might not be laughing out loud, or get as emotionally destroyed by the ending, but as a family movie, I think it definitely hits the mark. This is something you would watch alone, maybe with your girlfriend or boyfriend, wife, husband, or just as a family with your children. And, you just sit, you watch it, and you're just vibing along with it. I think that's what this movie is about. I don't think you will be bored or annoyed. You will just be comfortably entertained. At least I was. There's definitely some humor sprinkled throughout, not laugh out until you cry humor, but very sweet and subtle. It works. I appreciated that. And, it just went for warm smiles instead of hyperactive chaos or cheap, slapstick humor. Now, is this movie safe? Yeah, absolutely. It doesn't take any risks. It doesn't do anything, special. I think the main thing that is different or works very well for this movie is the way it looks, the way it makes you feel. The colorfulness, the atmosphere, the vibe. I think that's why I like this movie so much. I mean, it doesn't try to redefine the character. It doesn't really go all philosophical on you. But sometimes, especially during the Christmas, vibe, or especially during Christmas, I should say. Um, Safe might just be exactly what you're in the mood for. So overall, I had a good time with this movie. The animation is beautiful. The colors and visual tone give you that cozy Christmas vibe. Max the dog is adorable. The pet reindeer is a fun addition. Benedict Cumberbatch fits the role perfectly, and Cindy Lou Who adds some heart to this movie. It's simple, but it's definitely charming. 7.5 out of 10 would be my rating, and I would advise you to, go watch this movie. It's fun. You'll enjoy it. But that's my take on the movie. I hope you enjoyed this review. Let me know what you think, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye bye.